All right, so welcome to our Coach 411 webinar. We like to kind of come together and give you a little insight into what coaching is all about. I know that you guys follow us and you kind of see what we do as far as like however much we share, but there is some behind the scenes stuff, and we hope that you have all your questions answered by the end of this. If not, make sure you use the chat option throughout, and we'll either get to your question right away or it'll be something that we're addressing kind of later. I am Laura Kilbane. We're going to start with our quick stories, just in case you don't follow one of us, you can kind of hear how we got into coaching. I'm Laura Kilbane, and I have been coaching now. This month is actually, 6 years that I have started coaching. And I was someone who was working full time, loved my job, had a great job. But I was working 50, 60 hours a week. I had started this journey as a customer when I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter, my first, and I was not having a healthy pregnancy. And so when I went into this journey, it was focused all on health. And for years, I had like tried all the things and nothing really worked. If it did work, it was because I was doing something very drastic, very unsustainable, and I always gained the weight right back. I grew up in environments of dieting, of body shaming, of just unhealthy eating habits. And I went from not eating as a young kid to then binge eating as a young adult and well into my 20s. Actually, just if, I could officially say I've recovered from my binge eating 5 years ago. So when I would used to work out and exercise, it was all about the weight on the scale and the size clothing. But this time, since I joined when I was 6 months pregnant, I joined because I was having an unhealthy pregnancy. I was gaining weight pretty fast. And my blood work, when I would get all my tests done, it was not good. My doctor had said, you need to do something. And thankfully, my coach, who I went to high school with and college with, had just invited me to one of her groups. So I said yes. Showed everything to my doctor, and she was like, yes, everything's good to go, because I was nursing or pregnant, and then I would be nursing. And I loved being a challenger. I was focused on the health side of it, obviously, since I wasn't gonna, wasn't trying to lose weight, but I was focused on gaining the right weight, like a healthy weight while pregnant, and eating the right foods. And I instantly, I don't want to say instantly, I would say probably 2 weeks in, I felt like I had more energy. I was very competitive, so checking into the challenge group was something that I did. But within like 2 weeks, I started to feel different. I was no longer skipping breakfast. I was drinking my shake on the way to work. I was finding myself having more energy throughout the day. And this was the time when I had an aversion to coffee. So I went from drinking 6 to 8 cups of coffee to drinking no coffee. And I was craving healthier foods. Not to mention, I was actually getting my workouts, and I was rolling out of bed and either working out in my pajamas, or I was wearing like clothes that I could work out in that were comfortable, and I'd roll out of bed and work out before work. I felt better, and when she told me about the coaching opportunity, I wasn't really sure about it, but I knew I wanted to get a discount. So I signed up to get a discount. I ended up being a fly on the wall on the team page, and I had seen how all these women were, posting about helping so-and-so lose weight, helping so-and-so feel better, helping so-and-so get off medication. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to help people. And I was always interested in health and fitness. I had consumed all the magazines. I loved Jillian Michaels. I was like a huge fan. And I loved how she not only helped people lose weight, but addressed the emotional side of eating, because no one just weighs a lot. It's usually because something else is going on in their life. And so when I kind of saw like behind the scenes what coaches were doing and the impact they were having in the lives of others, I was like, I think I want to do this. So I told my coach, I was on maternity leave at the time, and I hosted, she was like, okay, host a free challenge. So one of my free challenges when I was a customer was a hydration challenge. And water is something that I used to not drink a lot of, but I did notice instantly, for sure, the positive impact of water and hydration. So I hosted this free hydration challenge, and I think I'm actually going to host another one this month. Come full circle here. But it was funny because I'll never forget it. Her name was Sarah, and she messaged me, and she was a nurse, and she's like, Laura, you changed my life. I'm like, how did I change your life? I told you to drink water. Like, it's free, right? She's like, no, I was not going to like the break room as much and snacking. I felt more like I had more energy. And she's like, I feel so good. And in that group, I forget how much weight she lost, but she actually did lose weight in that free group too, just from adding more water into her diet. And instantly I got hooked, right? I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I'm a new mom, and I didn't get a hand of like new mom life until I was about 12 weeks postpartum. I started to feel comfortable with it. But in that instant, I was like, wow, I can have such an impact on someone's life. And we all know that when you start taking care of your health and fitness, it is like a ripple effect into the rest of your life in the most positive way. So I started coaching, never looked back. I've been coaching for 6 years now. I've gotten in the best shape of my life. I did not look the way I do now before kids. So you better believe I was like shocked when I had my first postpartum like journey and transformation after my first daughter. I had looked how I always wanted to look, but I was focused on health this time and feeling good and being a good role model to my daughter. And then I did that 2 more times. I now have 3 kids, still once again in the best shape of my life. I've got the stretch marks, I've got the saggy belly button, I've got like all the things that mom, what happens to a mom when they get pregnant. And I have huge babies, so my stomach gets super stressed out. But I feel amazing. And I love being a wife. I love being a mom. The housewife stuff, I used to like it a little bit more than I do now, but those things give me this like short-term gratification and a short-term fulfillment. Whereas when I get a message from someone that they're able to get off their blood pressure medicine, or their diabetes is no longer an issue, or that they have more energy, or that their husband said that they looked beautiful and they haven't maybe received a compliment from their husband in a while. Not that the husband shouldn't already be complimenting them, but you know what I mean. Or that a coworker complimented them. Like those messages from customers that they just feel like happier and healthier and more confident, like it just means the world to me. Or even when someone messages me and they're like, do you believe I'm shopping for 12-pound weights or 15-pound weights? I'm like, that is awesome. You are getting so strong. Those wins are like huge to me. I could have the roughest day, and those messages have gotten me through my day. So I'm hooked. I love it. I've never looked back. It has completely, like I said, transformed my life. It's transformed my marriage. I didn't have a bad marriage, but I will say that this has strengthened our relationship. My husband now loves working out. He's really healthy and fit. And we see our kids. Like my daughter came up to me today and she's like, I'm going to work you out tomorrow because I was just putting together a routine and it's going to be challenging. Like, she's 6, you guys, and she already looks at like working out and health and fitness in a positive light. And that's what I want to create, because I looked at health and fitness in such a bad way growing up that I am all about kind of like ending that trend, right? So that's a little bit about my story. I know who wants to go next, Heather or Sarah.
Sure, I can go. I'm Heather. I live outside of Boston, and I've been a coach for coming on 3 years now. I started out as a challenger. I actually found my coach on Instagram. I had heard of Shakeology a couple years before that, and I thought it was a scam. So I wanted nothing to do with Shakeology. And when I realized I was following my coach while I was on bed rest, pregnant with my daughter, I went through like almost 5 years of infertility and finally got pregnant with her and ended up on 4 months of bed rest, and stumbled upon my coach through a hashtag. And I just watched her every day while I was on bed rest, and she was working out while pregnant with a 2-year-old. And I was just mesmerized by her consistency. And I think I also did a free group, like while I was still pregnant or towards the end of my pregnancy, a crock pot. It was like crock pot recipes. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting, this accountability. And I honestly, no joke, I think I was like 5 days postpartum, and I messaged her and I was like, I need whatever you have, just sign me up. And so clearly I couldn't work out yet, but she got me set up with one of our nutrition plans. I had gained a lot of weight while on bed rest. I had gestational diabetes, long story of my pregnancy, but gained a lot more weight than I needed. So I got on our nutrition plan, which they like customize it if you are nursing. So I was still getting enough calories. And then as soon as I was cleared 8 weeks, I jumped in with the fitness program. And honestly, it completely transformed my entire life. The accountability groups were everything to me. The weight was falling off me. I was happy. I was more confident than I had ever been. And I just wanted to scream to the rooftops to everyone I knew about these programs and these supplements. And so 6 months, I would say, after I was a challenger, I got onto one of these coaching sneak peeks, just like you're all on right now. And I was a fly on the wall with my camera off, so insecure, so nervous, just trying to like learn a little bit more about it, to understand it. And I took a leap of faith. I was so nervous and I jumped in with 2 feet. I honestly didn't do it like for the financial aspect. I did it because I genuinely was so obsessed with the programs and the supplements that I just wanted to share and help others to feel as good as I was feeling. And honestly, I've not looked back in 3 years in this decision. It was so scary. I had never taken a selfie. I created a brand new Instagram account because I was scared for anyone I knew to find me. And it was amazing. And honestly, I'll tell you, every single one of my friends signed up. Everyone I knew who was afraid to see me embraced it and all joined me. And there's nothing like it. And then the community aspect we'll talk about is something I didn't even know existed, which is just a whole nother layer that adds to how great everything about coaching is. But I'm sure we'll dive into that later. So I'll let Sarah go so we don't get this too long.
All right. I'm so sorry. Of course, like 2 hours ago, I got nice and raspy going. So I have some hot tea here. So I'm going to be fast. But basically, I have liked Beachbody since the Slim in 6 program. It was one of the first programs they ever came out with. I remember ordering it off of an infomercial at my granny's house. It came with Shakeology, and I was like, I can never afford this. I can never like stay on this. So I always would just get that first bag and then I'd cancel it. But then as soon as I would cancel it, I'd always just like fall back into my old habits. So I did that forever. I did that in college. I always had a unhealthy relationship with food, with eating, with emotional eating. And then it wasn't until accountability groups that I actually started to follow through. So when I would make a commitment just to myself, that just didn't work for me. Once I started being accountable to my coach or to other challengers who I had been signing up, I did this a lot for that accountability piece. The other piece is I had a really hard time spending money on myself. And like I said, I was like, I can't rationalize the cost of this, or I'm not going to use Energize. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Energize now, but I'm not going to spend this money on myself. Now I have 3 kids. I don't, they need my money, or we could be spending my money in other ways. So, I remember telling my husband, like, I'm going to coach enough that I can pay for the products that we're using. And now he uses the products too. We're paying for those, we're paying for mine. So, and I'm making a little bit more of an income even outside of, paying for the products. But that just goes to show I basically signed up and started with my coach for the extra layer of accountability and it's over there, and to be able to purchase the products. He's using a pencil sharpener right now in front of me, I think. Okay. Oh, and it's not plugged in. So sorry. I'm always distracted around this house. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. And basically I was just invited to a group by somebody who I just was mutual. My sister and her went to grade school together. So that's how I knew her. But I could just tell by her journey and the fact that she was just sharing along the way. Like, she didn't have a huge transformation yet, but I just watched her share and share and share. And I'm like, oh, I can even do this without a transformation. And I could just share with others and just be like, hey, do you want to just do you want to just do this with me? And basically that's how it just started. Everyone I knew kind of started joining me. And I think that once they realized I wasn't stopping is when that kind of picked up for me. So like at first people will kind of notice that maybe you put yourself out there and say that you're coaching, but until you like consistently keep showing up, they're like, is she legit, or is she just doing this for a little while and then she's going to like fall off? Or is she like on a journey, but off and on and off and on? Like, yeah, I share the real life stuff about like being sick or trying to work out with kids, and life happens. But I think that people seeing it consistently over, I'm going on 2 years now of sharing and coaching, they know that like I'm not going anywhere. More and more people are like, have been joining me more recently than when I first started. I hope that made sense. Of course, I was super distracted by everyone
Oh,
needing
you're good.
and I have a nice raspy voice. So
You're good. You're good. Okay. So Heather is going to go into like what we are not. I had like, yeah, Heather starts it. But this is like a good overview, and hopefully this will answer a lot of your questions too. And like I said, don't hesitate to use the chat option.
All right, so I'll kind of read through this and add a little tidbit also. But first, we are not experts. No, you don't need any certification to join. We're not salespeople. You never have to think that you are just selling something. We don't need to know everything. We don't need to have a degree or a certification. And we don't have to have the perfect goal weight or bodies. So many coaches start at the beginning of their journey. There's lots of coaches who actually sign up to start a fitness program and will start coaching at the same time. So I think that's a big part. Like we have, and we're going to go into it, but we have all the trainings that you're going to need. And you never have to feel like you are making, you're helping someone with decisions that like a doctor would make for them. You would suggest that they consult their doctor for those type of decisions, pregnancy, nursing, injuries. So coaching is not just for super fit people or for extroverts. I mean, I am actually really insecure and really shy, and I never envisioned myself doing anything like this. And like I said earlier, even like showing up on Instagram with my face, and now I do it every single day. And it has brought out the confidence in me that was lacking. It's not just for trainers or nutritionists at all. It's not high pressure sales. It's not high risk or high cost. Honestly, to sign up is free, because if you buy a challenge pack, your coach fee is waived. So it's actually zero cost to sign up. You don't have monthly quotas to achieve. You can work as much or as little in this business as you want. It's definitely not a get rich quick scheme, and you're not limited on success or rank. I mean, it is this, as coaches, it is as much or as little as you want it to be. And we're going to go more into that in a few more slides.
Yeah, just the real like quick thing about get rich quick and stuff. There is a lot of success, and we'll talk about it in a couple slides. But also I know like there's always like the question like, well, I heard it was a pyramid scheme, or I thought it was. The best way to explain that is, so say you signed up under me, you could still surpass me in success, in rank, in income, and all of that. And so if it was like a true first, and then the other thing is pyramid schemes are illegal in the US. And Beachbody is a US company. So not all MLMs are US companies, so they more or less can operate as a pyramid scheme, because I do know of two. But Team Beachbody is a US company, not a pyramid scheme. And like I said, that's the best way to explain it, is that you could have more success than me, to be like blunt with that. Okay. Our next one is our team goal. Sarah's going to talk about this.
Okay, so I will just read the slide, but then I can kind of embellish on it. But our team goal is to help people live their best life, to provide inspiration, accountability, and resources. I like the way that, well, I wanted to just make mention of that the fact that you don't need the transformation yet, again, because the goal is this can keep you accountable to yourself. And that's what really was huge for me. And then when other people see you posting and you staying accountable, then of course you're providing that accountability for them too. So I just think that that is the best part about being a part of a team rather than being maybe only a challenger. To be your new virtual and real life BFF that can help you chase big goals and dream big, and to help people all over embrace their life and feel confident and empowered every single day. I ended up naming my team recently so much. So like my initials are SMM. So I like this idea. This thread was coming up that this is so much more than just a workout. This is so much more than just eating healthy. And that's why I think it's so successful, because it's about your mental health and personal development, because that's really what stems like people to keep going and reaching their goals, is the way that they're thinking about the thinking, and then that leads to their emotions, and then that leads to their behaviors. So I really love that idea that it's about embracing all parts of your life and then feeling confident even in your mental health too.
Awesome. Okay. So a day in the life, kind of like Sarah just mentioned it, it's about like everything. It's not just fitness. It's not just healthy eating or shakes or anything like that. Our job as a coach is to work on ourselves. And so that self-love, like, I don't think I ever thought about self-love. I was like the person who, if you wrote your to-do list, or if you even wrote like the 5 people who mean the most to you, I was never on that list. And I've learned that if you don't have yourself on your list, then everyone else gets kind of a rough version of you. When I don't take care of myself, I am less patient with my kids. I'm snappy and like just kind of bitter towards my husband. I thought I was doing the right thing by putting everyone else first. But then at the end of the day, I was very unfulfilled. And like I said, kind of like pissy in a way. So I've learned through this journey, like just taking care of yourself, loving yourself, being mindful about what you do for yourself, it ends up positively impacting others. And, the sharing the love, when I share what I do to take care of myself, there are so many people who message me and they're like, thanks for sharing the daily Bible verse, or thank you for sharing your affirmations, or thank you for sharing what you're thankful for, because it makes them think twice about those things too. It even holds them accountable. And even just sharing a workout clip, they're like, thanks for working out today. Like, I didn't want to do it, and then I saw you doing it, and I saw your kids in the background, and you have a baby. Like, and I know if you can do it, I can do it too. So just sharing our journey ends up impacting people in a positive way. And I love that. And even like that spread love, like, we utilize social media to run our businesses. I am someone that was not on social media before I started coaching. And social media has become such a blessing. I think it's really how you look at it, because I think about social media being a place to kind of like stalk people and put people down. And I feel like none of that happens on my page, right? I am always like looking for inspiration, for tips, for recommendations. Like, I was joking around with my friends this weekend from our one coaching retreat, and they're like, who were you influenced by with this? Because I was like talking about the people I love to follow on social media. But we get to spread love and just be a light in lives of others on social media. Being a positive, I always like kind of think about it as like this like positive corner, on the social media platform. And I've been able to connect with so many women, even like someone I know just lost their home to a fire, and social media was the reason that she was able to raise money to like help them over the next couple months. So social media can be used for good, and it can be used to positively influence others. So while there may be some things that upset you about social media, when you turn it around and use it as a platform to spread that joy, that motivation, that inspiration, and even just those mundane things, it really ends up, you'll see, having a positive effect on the lives of others. We start coaching with our journey first. Sarah mentioned she kind of started like right in the beginning of her journey. I started in the beginning of my journey. I had just had my baby. I was finally ready to work out at 10 weeks postpartum. And that was when I started coaching. It was like, I'm on this postpartum journey. I would love for you to do it with me, because I always gave up 2 weeks in on my own journey, or before that. But I think the first I ever got was 2 weeks in. But I knew if I was showing up and telling people I was doing something, the people pleaser in me didn't want to let other people down. And like Sarah mentioned too, like that accountability was just huge. And people liked to join me in my journey because I was just that. I was in my journey. They need to start their journey. And that consistency in sharing does inspire other people to either do it with you or even do it on their own. I always think about just being that person that can be a positive influence in the lives of others brings me joy and fulfillment. But sharing just my journey, like I said, even those mundane things, like I drink water every morning and I still share it, because I used to not drink water in the morning, and I know other people don't drink water in the morning, but starting your day with water has a lot of positive effects, right? Even like today I shared some things, like just a really quick lunch today because I didn't really feel like making something big, and I just shared what I made for lunch, and people were like, hey, thanks for sharing. I always overthink meals, and like you just made the simplest meal. And then spreading the word and helping others to get started and get results. There is nothing like helping someone get started. Like I said, mom life brings me a lot of joy. My kids saying a word for the first time, or even taking a step, or even standing, I have a soon to be 1-year-old, like their milestones, like, I can think of like bring me a ton of joy. I kid you not, someone messaging me that she's lost 20 pounds and that she feels amazing and she feels confident and she has the energy for her kids. And her doctor is so proud of her because he didn't want to mention anything last year, but this year he's so proud of that she did it herself and is now in a way better place. Like those messages mean so much to me, because I know that I didn't just impact her life, but like I said, I impacted her husband's life, her kids' life, and everyone around her. So helping people get results and feel good, not only selfishly feels good, but the impact. I thought about this weekend so much, like the impact that this has, the opportunity this has to make an impact in the lives of others is just unreal. And once you get into the community and you start to hear everyone's stories and how marriages have been mended, how eating disorders are no longer a struggle. I was just at a retreat with women who, had struggled with ending their life. And this opportunity has pulled them out of their darkness and depression. And it's moments like that, it's stories like that I'm like, this is so beyond, what I've ever imagined it to be. But just doing these daily things, like showing up with your workout, being positive, and asking people to do it with you, it can save someone's life. It can change someone's life, and it can drastically transform someone's life. Heather, you want to go into the daily tasks?
Sure. So this blue sheet here at the bottom we call it the BAT. It's a business activity tracker. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of what each line item is, but basically every day you can do this digitally, or you can actually print this out and have hard copies, and you will check off the daily tasks. And these are the tasks that will keep your business moving forward. And some of these tasks, as you can just see, is like workout, drink Shakeology, like things you would probably do anyways. So like kind of, I think Laura had said originally, like one of the biggest things is like working on ourselves. Like that is like first and foremost. Then a big part of what we do is connecting, inviting, and following up. And we have trainings, we have recorded trainings, live trainings, everything that you need to do to know how to complete these sheets. You can also do them on your own time. We usually say you want to carve out an hour a day if possible. And then it kind of depends from there on where you want to take your business. And if you want to, replace your income of your full-time job, then you would want to do more than 1 hour a day. If you are really just looking to maybe sign up a few friends and you're fine with that, then you can reevaluate how much time you put into the business. But this outlines exactly what you need to do to grow your business. And it is honestly, like, I don't want to say it's idiot proof. So the job of being a coach and doing the tasks that are on here is not hard, but it does take dedication to like setting the time aside to do it. And sometimes, maybe it is at night when your kids have gone to bed and you have to say to your husband, hey, I'm going to spend 20 minutes working on this, and then we can hang out and watch Netflix. And just really finding those ways to carve out the time, because as you've heard, we're all busy, we're moms. I also work another job about 20 hours a week. So many of us are doing so many things that we really need to carve out that time. And if a full hour isn't going to work, then you can break it up into 10-minute increments and you can still complete this tracker every day. So like I said, you don't need to know what to do. We will show you with all of our trainings how to complete this sheet, but it is vital that you do participate in these activities to move your business forward.
Yeah, and just real quick, I want to say, what's cool about this is like, when I started coaching, I didn't have something like this, but it's nice because if you're like, okay, Laura, like I want to help people every month. I want to build a business. I want this to be transformative in my life, lives of others. I want to make X amount. Like all you do is follow this and you will get there. I always tell people if I have my coaches do this 5 times a week, all month long, without a doubt, they hit their goals, set that they want to hit, like helping minimum 3 people. And it's cool because like Heather just mentioned, it's not difficult. It's very simple, but it's not always easy because you do have to dedicate the time. But if you're willing to dedicate the time, like we mentioned, financially, it can transform your life. And then just mentally, emotionally, it's not only going to, like I said, transform your life because you're going to be creating this kind of accountability system, but you're going to be changing other people's lives. And like I said, that impact is so huge. So this system that they've kind of incorporated is super nice because it takes the guesswork out of coaching. All right, the next one is Sarah. You want to go over what our team provides and stuff, the opportunities.
And one thing I didn't mention when I originally told my story, mainly because I feel weird because of my raspy voice, but I was actually a part of I was actually part of another team. I was a coach on a team before I joined this team. And what this team provides is way more than the previous team I was on. Not that I want to like compare. I just want to like talk, when I'm talking about this, I just want you to know that so many resources are available for you. Like this says here, the weekly team calls, those give you motivation. They'll give you tips on, what you could do to help you reach your goals. Of course, one-on-one training opportunities with your coach. There's group messages always going on about like if you're pushing to reach a different goal and other people are pushing to reach that same goal, you might be put into like a pod of a message group. That's similar to the new coach mentorship, or the new coach mentorship is like right away, like what you're trying to reach for immediately, like to get you started. But as you're pushing towards different group goals, then you're in different kind of mentorships or different Facebook groups. And then, of course, there's tons of social media training, since that's where we kind of run our businesses out of, our social media. So there's a lot of training on kind of like algorithms and how those work, or the upcoming like trends that are happening in social media, and how you can kind of maximize your how many people are watching you and how you can maximize kind of the use of social media. And then the Google Drive is just a shared, if you're not familiar with Google Drive, it's basically a place where a bunch of documents and PDFs and images and stuff can be shared. And then again, that's something that you can then use to support the customers as you sign people up. So it's not like you need to create all of this content to help support your customers. The people above you will help you kind of provide that support to your customers. So you don't ever feel like you're doing this alone. And that's just an amazing thing that this team provides.
Awesome. Yeah. I always like say, like, if anyone has a question, like, definitely ask, because I never want you to be like searching around forever. There is an FAQ, and we have a team page and team thread, but if you ever need something, like, you don't have to ever worry about like overwhelming someone or bugging someone. So 3 types of coaches, preferred customer. So that is like, if you're like me, how I originally started, I just wanted a discount. I don't like to pay full price for anything. So if you tell me I can get a discount, I'm like all in. So our preferred customer, they get 25% off. They get the opportunity to have early access to programs. And then that's kind of it. They're just kind of like in this VIP membership. They're in the club. A hobby coach is someone who gets a 25% discount, gets early access, but they also get the coach resources. To get the online coach office, which is where you would run your businesses. That's where you would see your customers, your orders, all of that. Tons of trainings on there as well. And then you are just someone that's kind of like occasionally sharing and maybe signing up a friend here, friend there, family member here, family member there. A business builder is someone who's like, all right, Laura, I want this to be my side hustle to pay off my student loans. I want to buy a house. I need to save up money. I want to leave my job because I'm not happy. I want to come back home and stay with my kids, or I'm just unhappy with my job and I need to make a switch. That is what a business builder is. And all of these options, other than, well, preferred customer, there's no work needed, right? You just want the discount. But the hobby coach and the business builder, we can help you get there, right? We will support you. You're not on your own in this business. We all run our own businesses and we are not your boss or anything like that. But if you're like, Laura, I mean, I've had girls that are like, I can't stay at this job. It's draining me. I don't like the person I am. I don't have much room to even grow in this position. I need a way out. And I know I can't just leave because, financially we can't make that work. So I will help you. Your coach will help you figure out how much you need to do, what you need to do, and they'll help hold you accountable to that so that you show up and you make this work for you. This business, there's like this blurb about success is not guaranteed. It's all based on the amount of work and hustle and all of that. There's this disclaimer. It is definitely based on the hard work and the hustle and the consistency that you put forth in this business. But I will tell you that this business has replaced incomes. It has doubled incomes. It has tripled incomes. It has, I had a coach 2 years ago. She paid off her student loans early. And she just turned 30. And, people are usually dealing with their student loans into their 40s, even early 50s. I've had other coaches who have been able to come home from their job and be with their kids, and now they've surpassed their husband's income. It doesn't happen overnight, but I will tell you, when you stay consistent with this, I had first started out with I didn't even know how much I made my first year. I was just doing it kind of like a hobby, but I was probably doing more than a hobby coach. I was definitely helping 3 to 5 people a month, but it was a hobby. It was very fun. It was just extra, right? I worked in the mom cracks of my day. And then when I saw the financial opportunity with it, because I didn't start for financial reasons, I was like, this is amazing. And I even remember us meeting with our financial advisors, and they're like, this is amazing. They're like, you can grow your business this much. And every year they're always like, all right, so what are your coaching goals? Because your income is something that we can control. Whereas most jobs, you can't really control how much your income grows. But this income is something that does compound the more you work. You truly kind of get paid for the amount of work you put in, and it's 100% commission job. And so it's really cool. Going into the money aspect is how you can make money compensation. So you get 25% discount on all your products, all your programs. You're going to receive, as a coach, a 25 to 40% commission. So 25 is pretty much the base, but today I signed up someone they just wanted the workouts for a year. There's a 40% commission on that. Team cycle bonuses. So once you start signing up other preferred customers and coaches, you have the opportunity to you become a team, right? So you become a team. All of your volume, all of the sales that you bring in that week, had the opportunity to get paid bonuses from corporate. So you are joining a successful team. So there's a lot of volume on the team. So if you kind of start to create your own team, you'll definitely maximize off those bonuses paid weekly. We do get paid weekly also. The quarterly and monthly bonuses, there are bonuses if you're in the top 500 each year, you get monthly bonuses. If you have, there's a thing called diamond, a star diamond bonuses. How I explain star or diamond coach is almost like if you're opening up a franchise, right? So I have my coaching business, and when I have 2 diamonds underneath me, I've almost like opened up 2 franchises, and we once again all kind of support to, each other. We're all working as a team together, and then we earn quarterly bonuses. I personally use the quarterly bonuses to kind of give back to the team, whether that's making tank tops, hosting retreats. I was just at a retreat and co-hosted that retreat. And so, all the expenses are paid for like my coaches. I will pay for them to attend those events. So if you're ever watching the events and stuff, you're like, how does that happen? You earn those events, and your coach supports you to go there. You qualify for free customer leads as a coach. So a lot of people are signing up every single day on Beachbody without a coach. So they put in their information. They're either getting a free Beachbody account where they can do like a free trial, or they're actually buying something, and those get handed out to coaches. First access and sneak peek. So if you watch any of us do the Job One program, we all had early access 2 weeks before customers had it. We are getting ready. Our next launch is coming in mid-March, where we'll have early access to a gut protocol, kind of like a nutrition program that really takes you through eating food insensitivities, to learn, how your body performs best with different foods, and then a 4-week workout program. So we'll have early access to that. There is a pre-made business website, just like I was talking before. You get access to a website where you can see all of your customers, all of your coaches. It's created for you. So it's like, usually when you start up a business, this is and can be a business. So usually when you start a business, you have to create your own site to manage everything, and everything's already put together for you. And then you have the freedom to cancel coaching at any time. So say you're a coach, and I always tell people to at least give it a year, because a lot can change in a year, and you're going to grow in your confidence and ability in that year. But, you can cancel at any time. You're not going to get a fee to cancel. You pay a $15.95 fee a month to have all access to all of this. But you can cancel at any time. No, problem with it. If you are military or a spouse of military, then you can get that $15.95 fee waived. But even with that $15.95, whether you're a preferred customer or coach, you're still saving like $15, $16 a month, depending on what you order each month. All right, Heather, you want to talk about the trips and vacation opportunities?
Yeah, I would love to. This is a part of coaching that I personally never, ever knew existed. And the community around all the coaches on our team is just incredible. So these are just a few of the retreats that we have qualified for or been on. So basically I think it's close to every quarter, maybe about 3 times a year, there's different retreats that you can qualify for. And then corporate also holds a big, huge event every July, I believe. So the one on the far right, that was a diamond retreat that we all went to the January before COVID. We didn't know what was coming, but that was actually that was my second retreat that I qualified for, and I just remember going. I was so afraid of going to this big house with all these people, and I had only met a couple of them a few times at the previous retreat. None of these people were my friends before Instagram. I didn't know anybody. And it was incredible. I mean, the friendships that you make and the bonding, the learning, the trainings, it's just so much fun. And the community aspect is incredible. And I think what both Sarah and Laura had touched on is that it's amazing the positivity that like a social media platform can bring and can really bring these friendships. And then when you meet in person, there's just nothing like it. This one in the pool, we went on our trip to Florida this past summer, and the big corporate event, unfortunately, because of COVID again, was canceled. So we had like a smaller but still really big event in Florida, which was so crazy fun. And again, lots of trainings, lots of bonding, tons of laughs, lots of drinking. Don't think we eat all healthy and stuff. Like we eat all the things and drink all the things, and we have so much fun. It's just fantastic. And I know some of these other retreats, a lot of times people attract local coaches to where they live. So then you can meet locally and you can go to have your own events, or we also have these quarterly events through corporate, all local. So like I'm in the Boston area. So we have an event every quarter, and they usually have a super trainer come to these events, and you get to do live workouts. I mean, there's endless opportunities to meet people in person and not feel like you're always behind your phone, like trying to talk to people about what our opportunity is with the workouts, nutrition, and coaching. And I would definitely say that I think now everything's really coming back to life. Like COVID, I think that's kind of for events slightly behind us, and we're really trying to push to do these events as much as we possibly can, because the in-person community is huge. I actually, side note, qualified for a Success Club trip, which is in Dominican Republic, I think. Laura, is that right?
Dominican next year, and this year it's Punta Cana.
Punta Cana, and in March, like the whole trip is paid for. And I get to take my husband, and I'm going the end of March, and I just have to pay for my flight to get there. Honestly, just for helping 3 people a month. Like I help people, I help them reach their goals. They are happier. I am happier that I get to help them. And then I can also make money from it. And then you get these trips. Like it's honestly crazy. So they're amazing. I can't say enough great things. And the friendships that I've made are just the best.
Yeah, I always say it. I'm like, it's a work trip, but you also feel like you're on this like bachelorette party like, at the same time. And the women like you meet, like I remember like when I met Heather, I'm like, Heather, but I feel like we've known each other for like 10 years. Like I just remember it's so crazy and like so funny, because I think almost all of us do come into this being like, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. Like I'm not really into like hanging out with a bunch of women. But the vibe is different. You're not comparing yourselves. You're not judging. You're not feeling self-conscious. Like it's just a good vibe that you have to experience. Sarah, you want to go into what to do now?
Yeah, for sure. I just can't stop smiling about that picture when we were in the pool, because I just have to quickly say, I started that weekend at wearing this one-piece bathing suit that I had. And like, I just was around this like amazing supportive community, and I brought a 2-piece with me, and like by the end of the weekend I wore the 2-piece, and it was like a huge big win for me, because like really everybody understands you, and you just like I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but you're just like on fire, and you just feel like absolutely amazing. And it's a thing that's for you. It's not for your kids. It's not for your husband. Like Laura said, it's for you and you only. And then you're helping other women feel this way. And there's just nothing better. So I just had to say that. So anyway, what do you do now? So you'll want to talk to your coach, whoever kind of invited you to this event. You want to talk to them about getting signed up, and then getting plugged into the community, the different groups that we have. And most of it is like through Facebook Messenger or Facebook groups that we have going on. Then you'll want to start your program and just start sharing your journey. And it could be as much or as little as you choose at first, kind of either dip your toe in and share a little bit, or, jump with 2 feet and be like, I'm going to share every single day about everything I'm doing. So it's totally up to you and your comfort level. And then yes, then the last thing is with your coach, you'll have a one-on-one call to talk about your goals, what do you want out of this opportunity, and then kind of your vision for the future. And then the two of you can kind of talk about, well, okay, if that's where you want to get, these are the actions that you have to take. So that's next, getting in touch with your coach and signing up.
Awesome. Okay, so does anyone have any like other questions? Did we touch upon anything that you've been thinking about? I can stop the recording.